I don't got time today to deal with the chat. But good morning and welcome to Mo Knows featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. Um, Today is just a quickie because I'm about to be out the door. I was trying to get on the 7:07 train, but the 7 o'clock. No, it's 7 something train. I'll get on the other 7 something train. Um, this is really one of those Monday morning quarterbacking things as I get myself out the door for my day at work. Um, let's see where we are at. Where are we, Momo? Um, I'm Monday morning quarterbacking a couple of things that occurred yesterday, or following up for some things from yesterday. Um, First and foremost, this when you are this when you're dealing with your spirit. Um, I need to sort through some UTubeShips that I haven't brought appropriate closure to. And that is important if you want to move on with healthy relationships. One of the problems that we face, I'm going to really say, you know what? One of the biggest problems I have with people is they fail to close off a relationship appropriately. And what ends up happening when a person um, doesn't finalize things is that they fester and grow or come back in another format and it just becomes worse. Now, some people would have seen yesterday's live stream, and by now you would have come to the conclusion that I have had a conversation with Reckless. Well, oops. I had a conversation with Reckless, aka Smedium for over here, and I haven't. He wrote some posts on my community wall in various ways he's communicated with me, and I hear him. Um, but I think there needs to be a conversation, a public conversation. So I'm gonna reach out to him, and well, this is my reach out, and ask for a one-on-one discussion because we need to get to the bottom respectfully of what happened, resolve that issue, and then you can move forward, apart, around, or whatever. This is not it's not a necessity for any apologies because what's done is done. But there has to be some way to get to the root of the issue and resolve it. Not fight about it, but really resolve it and really get to what it is. Man is funny to me because, man, you guys kill me. The male species kills me because y'all don't always want to speak on the stuff as it. Guys kind of like to leave stuff open. Like you walk away from a relationship, they like to leave it open. And the reason why they leave it open is so they could come back to it later on. I don't want people coming back to me later on. If you want to walk away from me, take a clean break. You understand? Make it clean. If you want to do something called platonic, then make that known. You understand? So that a person can put you in the appropriate category and can respond to you necessary as needed. You know, maybe this is why people ran so many narratives around here calling people side chicks and all kinds of stuff, because they think that people leave doors open, or they see you in relationships and they didn't understand how that relationship broke down or how that relationship worked for you. Because everybody that knows me, if you know my channel, you know that 6 years and we still talk to this day because we were the best of friends before we were ever like lovers. We were always good friends, and I never would want to lose that friendship. And I don't think he would want to lose that friendship. But there's been times when we've taken a break from communicating with each other. But I guess if I ever really needed something, I could have called on him. But call on him for emotional support more than anything else. Sometimes Mo needs a shoulder to cry on and a friendly ear that would just listen, not criticize. The one thing I lost in Chico was he was a permanent cheerleader for Mo. Like, he was my biggest cheerleader. Anything I wanted to do, even when he disagreed with what I wanted to do. Because I remember, I told you guys this before, I wanted to run for and I served on it eventually. What do you call it? The tenant association, the board on a tenant association. And I actually served as, was I the secretary? I probably was the secretary or the treasurer. No, I didn't deal with money with them. So I was a secretary. But that's a very political place to get into when you just moved into the P's. But anywho, I got there and he was like, that's what you want to do? And you know, he campaigned. He knew the people in there. I didn't. So they voted for me. You know, the older generation, who's the only ones that go to the go there. They voted me in, and it was one of my best community service or being a community activist that I've ever done in my life, because I brought many programs to the community center by sitting on that advisory board through NYCHA. I brought many programs there that benefited the kids. And even our extended outreach, it was so envied by the homeowners in the neighborhood that their kids participated in the program as well. So we did some good things, or I did some good things, but he was always my cheerleader. So when I look at 6 years, I do the same thing. I always reach out when I think I'm in my sad moments for moral support and just that friendly ear to listen. But Lord, do I miss me some Chico, because it's just it's something different when you miss, when you don't have that cheerleader behind you 24/7. And that's a big loss. Extremely big loss. let's see what we're going to do today. All right, so that takes care of me getting myself ready to go in. Oh, let me see. I was trying to figure out, did I put in my second earring? And I hope I did not connect these two earrings. They be killing me when I do that. Ooh, Momo, what you gonna do today, girl? Hurt them where? Hurt them. Oh, funky fresh. Okay, so I think I'm gonna call for that so we could get to the bottom of what it was. Now, I know people write scripts out here all the time, and maybe that might have been the direction that somebody was hoping that we go in. I'm not interested in continuous brawls with people. I got people that just hate me because I woke up today and came on the live. You know, that's just the way it is. But I got people that I had much respect for when I got here. And I can show you videos that said so. You know, the relationship with Smedium, and this is very important for folks to really grasp. He was the first moderator ever. And when I dubbed him that, I said, I expect you basically to protect my platform as if it was your own. Now, I will admit, I was a little naive back then. I had this whole theory that this virtual community I was in called YouTube was similar to the streets that I came from. Hardcore, people covered people's back like that. Like, I really thought this was like an extension of the shiz I lived in, or the shiz I once was familiar with. I have since learned better. But it does not mean that I didn't have that amount of respect when I started that endeavor. So I'll see where that comes out. The next Q&A that I'm actually calling for was with what's the dude's name? Myron. Another old you know, there's some OGs on this YouTube. Another OG on this YouTube. So I was hoping that I could get a Q&A with him. But not on no F stuff. Like, it's really, I formulated some questions, and I would like a little bit of closure on my questions, or get a better understanding, because I know I missed some events because I don't follow all of the content creators in that virtual community, Kanikavillian community. I don't. And the reason why I don't, and it's really captured by my thumbnail, which I decided to reuse the slogan or reuse the quote. And the quote is, "It's amazing how once the mind is free of emotional pollution, logic and clarity emerge." That is some powerful stuff. Now, that comes out of a book called Maya, but and it has to do with artificial intelligence and stuff like that. But basically, the quote is a good quote. And when you free your mind of the emotional pollution, because remember, how you feel emotionally about people really clogs how you plan with them. This is why people tend to separate their emotions from their business relationships, because you don't have to love somebody to do business with somebody. You don't have to be emotionally invested with someone to do business with someone. It's just business. And some people can bifurcate or separate the two well, and some other people can't. But when you can establish and remove the emotional pollution from things that you endeavor to do, logic and clarity always present themselves in the forefront. Logic and clarity. We could use a little of that sometimes around here. And clarity. What's up, Gleb? What's up, Karen? Those are things that I want to endeavor to do. And it's that next direction that I'm going in. This is a good season. Cancer is doing its last tap dances around around the yard. And then those Leos, shout out to them Leos. Those Leos will kick down the door, and what will they do? Smack your chick and tell you they ain't having it, because Leo season is right around the bend. And once you get into the season of Leo, it's like it's a beautiful thing. Nothing like being a Leo. Except I have met in this virtual reality. Here we go. If the shoe fits, lace it up and jog on it. Run around, be a runner, be a track star. If the shoe fits. I've come into different spirits of the Leos and different intensity of it, and it's always challenging for me because the love of my life was a Leo, and I think that's why he understood me so well, and I just conformed so completely. So that's interesting. So Leo. But in terms of female Leo love, I've had very limited of it in my life. And it seems like the Leo relationship with the woman is it's a challenge. Either they all in love you, or they all in hate you, or they secretly hate you, or they admire your gumbo. Like you can run into some Leos that just be like, yo, I respect her. I respect her gangster because it's the same as mine. But a Leo war of the Leo women. People just need to step aside from that and let it handle itself. People don't know stuff about that around here. They like to get into grown folks' business and into areas they don't got no business being in, but they like to do that. Yeah, y'all. That's how we doing this. I love this. I'm wearing my Uggy things, the white ones, with my jeans today. I'm about to go kick rocks in a new environment. See what that's all about. Life has been good to me. I hope that it's been equally good for most of you. What's the comment on Momo? In Momo Town. Oh, Momo Town. Ooh, I like the way that sounds. Momo Town. Oh yeah. Okay, so what's new? What's coming up? I will be returning to the focus and going back to all the decisions in the court case. The Lorenzen trial, the guy, what was his name? Lorenzen. I don't remember the basketball. I know his name is Lorenzen, but I wanted to give him some other darn last name, so I'm just gonna leave it. Like what was that team in Memphis? It's interesting that it would be in Memphis, but his his murderer, his convicted, because I don't believe the man did it. His name is Turner, but I don't believe that man did that. But it, it was like one of the worst sentencings. No, they're all just getting horrible. This last month of July and June, the trials that I seen, the Johnny Depp lawyers and lawyering, and this dude, in this case with the basketball star case, the lawyers were just horrible, made horrible ways to present their case. It was just disgusting. And this dude ends up getting 41 years. So we'll talk about that. It's mind-boggling. And don't be mad at me because I wasn't convinced that he did it. In the criminal court, the burden is beyond a reasonable doubt. Your doubt can't have reason. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. And there are times when I look at some of these cases and I be like, there's reasonable doubt there. So that's one. What's next? Second thing up. I'm following some more cases. I left my book upstairs because I have it by my bed. My YouTube book. There was some Supreme Court decisions that I want to talk about. I want to talk about them from what was presented to the Supreme Court and what the decision actually says, and not what the protests say today. So that's bigger than Roe v. Wade, because there was one in New York about gun control, and it's interesting because you're seeing the impact of it when you go into stores now. There are big signs on the outside talking about guns are not allowed. There are workplace signs now, signage that say guns are not allowed. Prohibiting guns being brought into the establishment. So you're seeing a lot of signage that you never saw before in places that it was just believed that you just wouldn't be walking in with a gun. So those are the that's the world we live in. There was somebody's video I wanted to listen to yesterday, Carenza's. I gotta go back and pull it up because I saw she did a video. There's the R. Kelly trial. There was the new civil trial against Bill Cosby. Interesting things to just speak on. So I like to touch on that, and I'm doing my copyright. I'm sure you can encourage him into a rehab program. That's so disrespectful, John. Since you want to talk on, I'm gonna do a pause. Since you want to speak on Myron, I looked at his video, one of the videos the other day. He was sitting in a car. And I said, oh, something about him changed. I think he's sober, John. I think he's sober. He looks different. His eyes are bigger. So I think he's sober. John. You having a hard time this week, John. You're finding yourself on the wrong side of history. But we're going to get you through it because everyone's passion should be respected. And everyone's vice, right? When a person is struggling with something, be it be it a substance abuse, alcoholism, we must have compassion for the other side of the equation. 1 + 1 equals. We're at the equal part. And at that equal part, you can always add some more things on the other side before you get to the conclusion. You can always put a takeaway. So if you're plussing, you can always take away, and you might get, when you hit the equal sign, a good answer. It's simple, basic math. Write out the equation, you'll figure out what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, channels, content creators like Myron come from my era. We were, I don't want to say born at the same time, because it's a cohort, and that's COHORT. It's a cohort. In that cohort that I have, there's Myron is there. There's Reckless that's there. There is, I'm not in the cohort with Unc Fed and a Straight Drop. They from the cohort before me. They existed before me. They're in that cohort. That's the Chosen Kings. That's the Huggies. They're in that cohort because they were here before I existed. Now, Reckless was here before, but it's the after movement of the Kanika. So I'm trying to just balance how I put together that cohort. The Really Vaughn, she would be in that cohort above me with the Unc Feds and so on. My group would probably be the Lamar Brand, the Monica Mo Justice. Who else were channels in that cohort? So what I'm trying to say is that I think I could have a better conversation with people that arrived at the same time. And I just, like I said, I just have questions. Everything is not, unfortunately on this YouTube, everybody believes that everything's done for the content. That's if you're small-minded. You're doing everything surrounding the content. There are some people that do things just because it makes sense. You understand? The greedy pillars of some of this. Remember, in the cohort that represents the one above me, the one with the Unc Feds, they ate their own. Holla. They ate their own. If you was around, I'm calling it 0. If you was around from season 0, you will recall that some of the people in that cohort, when they had the power panel, that's the Cape 420s. This is all for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. This is all part of that virtual reality that I gave a scenario for yesterday. So you just need to watch the first 5 minutes of my video from yesterday. But the bottom line is, many of these people in that first cohort, they raised teams. What were they calling them? They were strike teams or whatever. They grew a base of subscribers and they weaponized their subscribers against each other. And that happened. And some of us who came in on the second wave came in, hashtag wrap it up, because we was just tired of that shit. The Johnny Farees, he would be in my cohort because he came after the Chosen King. This is the spinoffs. There was a lot of spinoffs. So that hashtag wrap it up meant just that it stopped some of the stuff that was going down. I would consider Cook What You Got or Cook What You Ain't Got. I don't remember what EB's channel's called because he ain't got all the ingredients. Shout out to EB. That would be in my cohort. That would be in the cluster. Rose Gold Lovely was building a channel at that time. That would be in this cluster. Truth Out Loud would be in the other cohort, the one above us. You know, and those are people that really turned away from the toxicity of this environment to make their own. Hey, Unitonica. Welcome, lady. So at the end of the day, where would I find Uni's channel? Uni came in. She came in from another community, planted here since 2020. But in a different grouping. I don't even know like where I would have put the bombshell. I have to think about that. Honey Lot tried to come in this cohort group with her healthy eating channel. I'm not even gonna talk about Karen because I don't know how to make no video about me. Talk about girl, don't be putting me in shit. So I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that where that is. But I would think that she built her channel. She would be in this cohort as well. I'm trying to think back to the what was that? What do I call the town hall of shame? Let me look at what other channels are on the town hall of shame. See, and I gotta watch what I say about other people's channels because then they will take it as a disrespect when I'm not trying to disrespect some people. So I'm just gonna leave their channels not mentioned. A P. Smith channel though would be in this cohort because she was making one of the channels making the most moves, and I will always give her the credit for this, really growing brands. No other content creator other than P. Smith has been able to mobilize and grow channels around her. The strategy was working for her, and it was envied by those that could not grow as quickly. Now, I know that there was tactics there, but at the end of the day, that network was flourishing. I think one of the things that may be Monica's downfall is that I do look at things objectively, even if I don't like the person. I always evaluate the action versus the person. I bifurcate the relationship I do not like for whatever the positive is I want to speak on about the person. And in cases where there's negativity to speak on a person, I do the same. People tend to not respect the fact that I'm an equal opportunity evaluator of things, and I give fair analytics when it comes down to assessing things, and it's never personal. Some people believe that people, when they dislike something, and that's maturity gets you to that level. Many people don't have that maturity factor, but maturity gets you to that level. What's up, T? Oh, good morning. Have a good day. Why you sound so sad? Oh, all right. All right, later. That was not tea. All right, so moving on. Oh, I should have asked where they was going. Anyway, I got to hit the road because I got to make this money and I can't let the money make me. But yeah, John Frank, you probably would be in the same cohort as me, but your group was over there doing all kinds of stuff. Glib would be in this cohort with me. Even though his channel predates my channel, but he was not part of that first cohort. Actually, he was in the wave with you guys over there. How did you get into this cesspool? Karen, do you want to do another Q&A? How did you get into this cesspool? I think we all know how we got here. The question is not how you get to somewhere, it's how do you get to the next level? How do you level up? We're all here. The issue is how do we level up to our greatness? Or are we great? Because some of the effery around here, you just be like, what? Where they find them peoples at? But, you know, I just don't know. I just don't know at this point. Well, I am so pleased that I did not get bombarded this morning with trolls. So good morning to y'all and peace be still. Because I actually had to just say a prayer when I came on here. And that's about it. I am doing one major change in my life. And it's going to go, I'm going back into Sabbath on Friday to Saturday. I've been giving it some thought, and with the new relationship that I found myself in, I decided that that would be the best thing for me to do. Yeah. So I don't know which Friday I'm starting with, because I always pretend like I'm going to start this Friday, and then somewhere in the Saturday it falls apart. But I'm going to work on it a little harder, because that's the direction I want to go in. Yeah, that's the direction I want to go in. You have to guard your sanity in this. How do we get to the next level? I like that. Yeah, how do we level up? You understand? We all know it is important, Uni, because we all know where we are at. Now we need to get to where we need to go. The easiest way is not cutting them off. So y'all want me to speak out loud? The easiest way is not cutting them off. The easiest way is actually building yourself up. Because I can sit here and talk to myself until I reach the top. You know, I talk to you guys about being on the community boards and serving on things where people are less likely to participate in. But why did I have great success? Because in the small numbers, so much more can be done. In the large numbers, you're lost in the crowd. But everyone always thinks that it's better to have the large numbers in order to get some stuff done. Obama won and got the most campaign dollars because it was the small dollars, the ones and twos, the fews and Qs. There was the ones and twos and the $5 donations that got him into the top because they were consistent. They were small but consistent, and he got there. Then the big one-time offs. When you look at your platforms and you see that you got an influx for one topic or another, and you get, I'm gonna use fictitious numbers, 500 views, is that sustainable? Then you got to build content around that views and try to hope to be sustainable. No, you got to build content around your focus and you got to build content around your focus, and then the people that agree with your focus will somehow find you. And it's a process. It's success does not happen overnight. And if success did happen overnight, two things happen when success comes overnight. One, you get drained out trying to meet success's rate, because you'll be always in a spiral that I need to keep up with that. Or it's a one and done deal. And as quick as you lit up, it's as equally as quick as you're going to fall down. So at the end of the day, you have got to build your focus. And then the people that are equally vested in your focus will come along. And the people that are not, and this is the most important point to what Karen says, they will drop off. You don't have to cut them off. They will cut you off. And that will be probably the most rewarding thing that could happen to your platform. See, I don't worry about the people that were once here because it was a season. I don't worry about them. I go back and I look at that season and I say to myself, all right, what did I get from that? How did it add value or take away? And sometimes you will look back and be like, yo, although this was an avid supporter, although this was somebody that was here every day, did they really add value? Why were they here? It's very few people that you will miss when they go. The same thing with the subscribers. It's very few of them you will miss once they're gone. Actually, you might be relieved because you're no longer serving their view. One of the biggest problems I had in my season 1 was accommodating the subscriber that thought that I should run my platform according to their preference. And that was one of the biggest issues I had with the couple. I wish I could use like the fornicating something for them, but the fornicating Christians, the only thing that you understand, like there was commentary that kept coming in my room. I don't like the way Mo is doing that. It's not going to work for her. She can't mix this with that. She can't be this. I'm like, who died and left you Zeus? So, that was one of the things that occurred. The question is, what is worth it? When I look in this cyberspace, and I'm going to close on this because I'm about to go to work, right? And the interesting thing about being in this virtual space, right, amongst the people in this virtual space, is that I know this is going to hit people hard. And they're going to take it the wrong way, but I'm just going to have to say it straight up. There are some folks around here who, for entertainment purposes, no. I got to think about motives, because some people, see, what happens when you become a terrorist is that people want to strike back, and people will have no bars on how they strike back. But I remember from season 0, I remember a person. Do y'all remember the couple? It was a husband and a wife couple who had a channel here on the YouTube. And I heard that their channel blew up afterwards, right? So this is a good example, Uni. I don't remember the name, but it was a husband and wife, and the wife was recording her YouTube on at work, right? And you know, these haters that are around here, they went and called on the person's channel. Went and called the employer and ended up getting the person fired, right? Because in this environment, people love to see people doing badly. And what ended up happening is that they had to now invest more time on the YouTube, and their channel blew up and blew out of this community. That's the answer. And when you see people going after Lionel's group, right? Sorry, Myron, but I see them, the tea leaves. Lionel, which is, what is it, cookies and cream, what was it, ketchup and french fries, right? He's in a new environment, got subscribers that none of us got here, right? Because he's in some political world. Y'all don't want those rednecks over there, but you'll find out eventually. So people think when they see his success and his numbers, if I go over there and I host a conversation with him, guess what'll happen? Some of his people will see me and they will subscribe to my channel, and I will grow. They do the leech on thing around here. They like to leech on to somebody else's success and think that they're vicariously going to get it for themselves. So they will go over there and they will do that. I mean, if you fish in different communities, you can easily grow, your numbers like that, by dipping in and dipping out of some communities. But again, is it sustainable? When you see people up here and numbers about to come out, you'll see people with 1.8K subscribers, right? But when they run their live, they're working with 20 people. When you see their content at the end of views and you come back a week later, they're still struggling to have 100 views, 200 views. Why is that? That's because their strategy wasn't sustainable, because they didn't grow that group to keep it. They grew it just to grow one facet of their business. Or one facet was the subscriber count, but they didn't grow it for continuity to build up the viewable hours. They didn't grow it for continuity that somebody would want to return. It's a one and done thing. And most people don't go back and unsubscribe when they subscribe to things, because they just don't. So it just stays as one of the people in their subscriber list. They don't have time to go back. They subscribe just what it is. Unless you do something terribly horrific and they have turned the bell on, and then when you put up that video and they see it, they miraculously unsubscribe. Most people are lay people to this YouTube stuff, and they don't even understand, as a subscriber, how valuable being a subscriber is to the content creator. When you look in some of these other genres, you will hear people start off their videos and say, my analytics say that 80% of you are not subscribed to my channel. Why is that? You understand? Because they understand that they're putting out banging content. They have the people coming back and watching the videos and giving them the viewable hours. But what aren't they retaining? They aren't retaining the subscriber. So it is a balance all the way around. and that's it. But the one thing, everyone has to make a living, and everyone needs to have a way to earn money. Just be mindful of that in the things that you do. In everything that you do, just remember that. I'd rather see a struggling drug addict with a job try to get up with how it goes, Karen, with a job, get up every morning and go into a workplace, because that 8 hours on that job, if they could keep it up, it is 8 hours of not being under the influence of their vice. I never understood the concept of not working, living off of government aid. I never understood that. And I always believed that the people that did had a need at the moment, and that it would be temporary, and it would be a stepping stone onto greater things. Not a lifestyle. But some people around here want to make that a lifestyle for others, and it's sad. And they do it in two ways. They either destroy a person's pathway to riches, a job, or they break people down so mentally on here that you put people further into their into their holes. You know, y'all browbeat people. I seen y'all do it on here. I've experienced that firsthand. I sat there and held the hand of a woman beat down. Beat down trying to love on people that didn't love her back. That's why watching some of the videos this weekend and listening to some of the things that I listen to and hear people say you've got a good heart. If you know a person got a good heart, don't stomp on it. Don't try to make for your own opportunity to steal that heart. Because I see you waiting in the background. In the heads of some people, they're saying, what? This person's this gullible. Why they not this gullible to me? It's a me moment. Go out, do shit for yourself. I also listen to people talk about, making changes in their life, moving on, doing other things and stuff like that. Keeping those movements. Move like that. It works out well. Anyway, today's production was brought to you by the M and the O. Mo.